Hello, and welcome to another episode of Jackson Talks. Everybody, with me, your host, Jackson Stone. This is episode number 66 of Jackson Talks, everybody. And today is August 16th, 2021. If you're a regular listener of Jackson Talks, everybody, you know that episodes drop about 4 weeks after I record them, just so I am sure that I can post an episode every single Tuesday. So that means this episode will drop on September 14th. So if you're viewing it on the day it dropped, it is September 14th, 2021, which means we are in the midst of Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And this is episode 66, as I just mentioned. But episode 65 is a really important episode for me. So if you haven't listened to that, please, I encourage you to go back, listen to episode number 65. It is a very important episode for me because September is a really important month for me. There's a lot going on. It's why Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, week, and day is so important to me. I talk about my sister Rachel and her role in my life, what she means to me, how her story continues to inspire me daily. And why I've been on this 3-year journey of self-discovery, of self-exploration, of improvement, of love, of empathy, of trying to grow my consciousness, trying to grow my connection with the universe, with spirituality, with oneness, with meditation, with journaling, with my body, with movement, with people. Why I've been on this deep journey, and why this podcast and You Are Loved and the mental performance coaching, all the stuff that I'm doing related to living the full human experience is so important to me. It's relayed in episode number 65 through my big sister, Rachel, the best person that I've ever known. And I love her to death. I miss her every single day. But please go back, listen to that episode, come back, listen to this episode, which is 66. I will be talking about authenticity today, so it relays a bit with the last episodes and kind of the stuff I talked about. In episode 63, I talked about burnout. In episode 64, I talked about the Olympics and elite athlete mental health. Next, episode 67 will be with a reoccurring guest, which is my buddy Sam Pack, who now lives out in California. So we're going to hash it up, see how he's doing out there. But all these episodes are kind of about one specific topic that I'm researching, I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm trying to do and employ and explore in my own life. And so then I'm relaying that information, at least what I understand of it, to you guys. So hopefully that resonates to you deeply, or in some way that makes you want to dive deeper into that topic and maybe make some positive or healthy changes in your own life. And so if you're interested in all of that, if you're interested in me, if you want to look at more podcast episodes, go to jacksontalkseverybody.com. You can leave a comment, a note, and you can check out all previous 65 episodes. Or you can listen on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Give us a review, subscribe to YouTube channel. There's other stuff on the YouTube channel, including another podcast about youth sports and baseball, and about mental performance coaching called Champions Adjust. By the time this comes out, champsadjust.com will be available, so where you can find the podcast and merchandise of Champions Adjust, which I think is sweet because we're all champions. We're all champions in our own way, in our own lives, and we adjust and we adapt and we pivot every day. So we are champions and we adjust. Go check that out. And you know that You Are Loved Life exists. You Are Loved is my mental health nonprofit. We specialize in support groups and sponsoring people's treatments. We're on our way now to hosting our first fundraiser event. So we're in the process of planning and organizing and getting that all sorted. So if you want to be a part of that, or if you want to donate, please go to youarelovelife.com. We have merchandise available and a donation tab. We love your support. Thank you so much. And you can also go to jacksonstone.net to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, which drops every Friday. There's also merchandise on there as well. And normally the stuff that I talk about in my newsletter, it's just a brief tidbit of things that I've been pondering, discussing with people in my life, and listening to podcasts about, or a class about. I discuss deeper on this podcast in a more way that's tangible, in a more way that you can have actionable tools to take into your own life, or things that you can really think about or write out or discuss or hone in on, so you can have some practical tools to enhance your overall well-being. But if you want to support any of that stuff, all of that, this podcast, to get the guests, to do all the stuff that we do in the Jackson Stone company, you can go to patreon.com/Jackson Stone, and every single tier there, part of that money goes directly to funding all this stuff, and part of it goes to You Are Loved, mental health initiatives, research, education, and treatment. And as you go up through the tiers, they get a little bit more expensive, but you get a little bit more exclusive content, whether that be personalized video, audio messages, your selection on merchandise, a group hangout with me and a few other folks, very intimate, tight, or you get one-on-one coaching, all that stuff at patreon.com. And shout out to my patrons now who've signed up. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And so that's kind of the housekeeping information and a little bit of background there on where you can support, how you can support, how you can connect deeper. Of course, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for daily content around mental health, optimism, love, hope. And then go to those other channels for a little bit more deeper insight. So now to today's episode, which is on authenticity. Okay, which is on authenticity. Individuals considered authentic are those who strive to align their actions with their core values and beliefs, with the hope of discovering and then acting in sync with their true selves. So it's about lining up our core values with our thoughts, our actions, our movements, and our decisions. But how do you do that? I'm going to give you a few actionable things that you can do right now during this episode to discover maybe what your core values are, to discover your personal philosophy, and discover how you can show up more authentically as you. So here we go. Grab a sheet of paper, grab a pen, write down right now 5-6 people that you're inspired by, that inspire you, that motivate you. Write them down. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bang. Okay? All 5 are down. And by their name, write 5 traits. Write 5 traits, 5 values, 5 things, 5 character traits that these 5-6 folks possess, that you find that you want to have, that you want to possess yourself in yourself, right? So now you got about anywhere between 25 and 30 words on your sheet of paper right now, besides some people that inspire you. So you got people that inspire you, and you got words, about 30 words that have meaning to you, that you feel in your body some type of way, that you want to possess, that you think you already might possess, or that have value to you. Get to those 30 words and start looking around at them and start crossing out some of the ones that don't mean that much to you, and start circling the ones that you really want to hone in on, that you really want to possess, that you really want to show up, that when people talk about you, they want to say that this person exemplifies and possesses these core values that I see in him every time he shows up. And you're going to get it down to about 5 words. Circle those 5 words and then write those 5 words in a line, like a sentence. Just 5 words. Pow. Right there. Look at those 5 words. Really look at them. Okay? Look at them. Study them. Think about them. Think about what the words mean to you. How you can live by those words. That you want to show up with those words. Okay? Then get down to about 2-3 words that mean the most to you. In this point in your life, what are those 2-3 values that mean the most to you? Then use those 2-3 values to write a sentence. A very short, concrete, to the point sentence that you can memorize immediately, that you can share with your friends and your family and your loved ones, and that you can put to the test in every environment. So my personal philosophy is lead with love and empathy. So every decision I make, every action I do is filtered through that personal philosophy. So it makes showing up authentically, it makes showing up genuinely much easier, because I know how I want to live. I know my core values are, I know my beliefs are, and I know I want to live in sync and in alignment with those core values. I want to say things, and I want to be about the things that I say. If I tweet about it, if I write about it, if I talk about it, I want to then be about it in my real life. And I want there to be that intersection of all of that stuff where I'm in sync, I'm in alignment. And that's because I put my personal philosophy through the test. I put it through the work, through the self-exploration, through the journey, through the lonely work to get to this point where this is what I want my personal philosophy to be, and this is how I want to filter my thoughts, my actions, my movements, and my decisions. So now you have your own sentence. So now share it with people in your life. Does this mean something to you? Do you think I already exemplified these traits? What does this mean? And then you start to tweak, you start to pivot, and then you really hone in on something through the lonely work, through the self-journey, through the self-exploration, through the experiences, through the curiosities, through the ups and downs, the heartbreaks, the failures, the successes, the achievements, the celebrations. All of that makes you come up with this personal philosophy. And now that you have it, it's much easier to show up authentically and to show up as you, because you're comfortable with who you are. You're comfortable with the uniqueness and individuality of your makeup. You're comfortable with how you look and feel, because you possess this inner knowing that I live by my core values, and I can show up in any environment, no matter how hostile or how rugged. I'm me, and this is who I want to present, and this is what I'm about, and people will ultimately see that and fucking accept that, because they also want to have that radical love and radical acceptance of themselves that you possess. And then people will start to get more comfortable with that, and then you will in turn have this domino effect on the people in your life, and everyone will start to show up that way. Okay? I want to give you this fact. As I said earlier, right? September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And every single one of us can play a role in preventing suicide by understanding mental health a little bit better, by understanding the warning signs, educating ourselves, understanding where the help is, knowing where the support is, knowing how to talk to someone, what language to use when supporting ourselves and someone with a mental health struggle or condition. Okay? But it really starts with kindness every day, empathy every day, compassion, understanding for everyone's situation, because there are many cultural, environmental, and societal factors that go into mental health struggles, and mental health conditions that many of us may be unaware of in a certain person's life, because we literally have no idea what someone else may be going through. And that's where the understanding, the kindness, the acceptance, the compassion comes in for different people's situations, stories, triggers, traumas, and experiences. And so that's what we can start to do every single day. And then on a deeper level, get educated, go to classes, see a therapist, get professional help, join a support group. All of these things, the more healthy we are, the more sure we are, the more at peace we are, the more authentic we are, the more we can portray that and show people in our lives that, and they can become more comfortable. They can become more aware of their thoughts, and then they can do the work too. And now we're growing together, because everyone in the world has a unique makeup. We're special in our own way, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act, our movements, our patterns, our thoughts, our body, our mind, all of that is unique, right? We're becoming one with ourselves. We're at peace, and we love ourselves deeply through this journey, through this self-exploration. But then there's a connected oneness of the human race that all binds us together, because we are one. So there's that separation there that I think is important. So the fact is that folks are 35% less likely to attempt suicide if they have just one person in their life who fully accepts them as they are. Think about that. Really think about that. 35% less likely to even attempt to end their own life if one person in their life accepts them for who they are. And that starts with fully accepting ourselves for who we are, what we love, what we don't love, what we like, expressing those needs, wants, and desires, living through our core values, our personal philosophy, and showing up authentically, and giving other people in our lives to then accept us as our authentic selves, because we're not performing, we're not doing any of this other stuff, because then people can't accept us as we really are, because we haven't showed them who we really are. So show up that way. Show up the way you want, the way you want to dress, the way you want to act, the way you want to feel, the way you want to do anything. Show up that way. It's fucking beautiful. and then allow the people in your life to accept you. And then the people that you need to accept, you have to accept people for who they are. It's very simple. You don't have to agree or understand, or whatever your setbacks are or whatever your hesitations are. It doesn't matter what they are. Just know that if you accept someone fully for who they are, you are literally saving their life. That's it. That's the only nugget and information and tidbit you need to say, oh, okay, I'm definitely going to do that because I can save this person's life, literally save their life, if I tell them I accept you for who you are, exactly who you are. You want to wear a dress? Fuck yeah. You want to paint your nails? Fuck yeah. Who gives a shit? How is that I love it. I got my nails painted. It's awesome. Feels good. Mani-pedi? Yeah, paint my nails. Great. I just don't... Anyways, that's a different conversation topic. Well, maybe actually it isn't, right? Because we're talking about showing up authentically and showing up genuinely. But I'm saying right now, if you have any sort of hesitation towards accepting someone for exactly who they want to be, for wearing what they want to wear, for doing what they want to do, for having sex with who they want to have sex with, for being in a relationship, for who they want to be in a relationship with. If you have any hesitation over any of those things, just know that deep down, if you accept them for exactly who they are, you are saving their life. That's it. It's cut and dry. It's plain and simple. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Moving on. Cheers. Love you all. Much love. Thank you so much. But I want to get into a few other things here. But I just had to say that, and it means a lot to me. So, psychologists Michael Kernis and Brian Goldman developed an authenticity inventory in 2000, comprised of 4 key factors, right? 1, self-awareness, knowledge of and trust in one's own motives, emotions, preferences, and abilities. Okay, that's trusting your instincts. That's trusting your gut. That's knowing that your soul will lead you where you need to go. Not letting our ego drive us, letting our soul and our heart and what's in our mind and our body lead us. And having the awareness to understand what those needs and wants are and how to live through those and how to express those needs, wants, desires, and emotions in a safe place, but being vulnerable enough to let people in so we can express our most authentic selves. And then through that, number 2 is unbiased processing, right? Through expressing those things, we have to have clarity in evaluating our strengths and our weaknesses without denial or blame, right? And then number 3, behavior, acting in ways congruent with our own values and needs, even at the risk of criticism or rejection, right? And then number 4 is relational orientation, close relationships, which inherently require openness and honesty, okay? And then there's a little thing here that I want to read about soul versus ego. The soul is the most authentic form of you. When it is fighting to lead you to an experience or person, do you listen? Your ego may jump in to tell you that it's dumb or others will think you're crazy. Why? Because the ego only cares about being liked. That's its number 1 job. Ego wants to survive, be boosted up, fit in wherever it goes. So you start to perform. The ego loves the standards set by society because they are an easy set of guidelines it can follow to ensure that the ego gets noticed with positive feedback. Soul, on the other hand, has no fear of who likes it and who doesn't. The soul has the only truth to personal power, happiness, and authentic love. The soul can feel when you love from a surface level, a love that will never go beyond the car you drive, your bank account, or your social standing. Your soul is the intuitive side of you. Will lead you to authentic love if you allow it to have power over ego. Who will you give the power to today? It's always your choice. Lead with the soul. Lead with the soul. So what that means is when we start to live by our personal philosophy, but we start to live through our core values, when we start to show up authentically each and every day, that means we will start attracting the thing that we are becoming. So we will attract authentic love. We will attract more authentic businesses and successes. We will attract more authentic relationships because we are becoming the thing that we are attracting. We are becoming more authentic. We are pushing the ego down into the side, and we are allowing our soul and our intuition and our heart to move us. We are trusting ourselves and our ability to make decisions because we filter those decisions through our personal philosophy, which we've constructed through the lonely self-exploration work, taking a deep dive into ourselves, having clarity and an honest look about what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and how we can improve the things that we may lack in our mindset or our mental approach through support, help, therapy, professionalism, coach, a mentor. All these things can help you have a growth mindset and destroy limiting beliefs so that you can become this beautiful person that has always been inside of you, to allow this untapped potential to come to the top. But we have to find the root of that cause, and the root of it is why we're not showing up authentically, why we're letting our ego drive us, why we're performing for social media and the people in our lives instead of letting our true nature, our true needs, our true wants and desires drive us via our core philosophy or our core values or our personal philosophy, so we can show up authentically, genuinely in hostile, rugged environments. And then we give that permission to others in our lives to show up as themselves as well, and so that they feel more comfortable showing up as themselves, and we all feel more comfortable showing up as themselves. So now we can go around the world being our true selves, loving who we want to love, being who we want to be, expressing emotions, being vulnerable, having safe places to talk and love and be open, and having communities and support systems and being of service to others, and really living this true personal philosophy. And so I urge you to go through this work, do the deep work, take a deep dive into yourself, and start really honing in on who you really are, and express that and be about that. And you'll see all of the amazing things that the universe puts in your table if you are open to the full experience. If you start trusting yourself and your gut and your decisions, and you filter those thoughts and those actions and those movements through this constructed, self-explorated personal philosophy, you will start to attract all of these beautiful and brilliant and authentic things into your life. And more doors will open, many more relationships will happen, deeper connections will come into place. You'll be more resilient through the heartbreak. You'll be more resilient through the setbacks and the struggles because you know who you are. You know how you want to show up. You know how to pick yourself back up. You know that you can ask for help when you need it. You know you have a support system to lean on. You know that you have a community of people who love and support you because you've built these deep, authentic relationships through showing up authentically yourself. And that's all I want to say today. That's episode number 66 of Jackson Talks. Everybody, please, if you have any more questions, comments, concerns, if you want to talk about this deeper, just hit me up. We'll find a place. If you got any cool guests that you want to see on the show, drop a comment. Please leave us a review on Apple. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to jacksonstone.net. Sign up for the newsletter. And go to patreon.com/JacksonStone. Sign up for a tier. Let's get connected. Let's create a community for everybody. You can text me on my number as well, which is posted on my Instagram and my Twitter. And you can get logged in there and we can start chatting back and forth. You'll get direct messages from me. Listen to this podcast every single Tuesday. I'm fired up. This was a great episode. Thanks for listening. Now, go be you, because you is beautiful and you are authentic and you are great. And I accept you for you as you. Thank you so much for listening. Please have a lovely day and take great care of yourselves and your loved ones.